Welcome to the Jake Turner Podcast, where we share tips on life, health, and business. Hello, I'm Jake Turner. I'm a doctorate of nurse anesthesia, and I'm a certified life coach. Today's guest moved 13 times before 7th grade, then kept finding her way back to Waverly, Tennessee. She's a fine arts trained photographer, a church and arts community builder, and the kind of person who turns a small town into a story worth paying attention to. Please welcome Patti Damesworth.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yep, glad to have you here. When does a joke become a dad joke? When it becomes apparent.
Oh,
Yeah, it'll get better. I promise. You moved 13 times before 7th grade.
I did.
What did that teach you about home?
I felt honestly kind of homeless for a while because my parents knew each other in the 8th grade, and then my dad moved away, and this is in Little Rock, Arkansas. My mother had lived there her entire life. Then my dad came back after he graduated high school. They went to junior college and got married when they were 19, had me when they were 20, my brother when they were 21, and my sister when they were 23. And they moved to, my brother and I were born in Little Rock and my sister in St. Louis. And then we just moved from there. My dad worked for this company you probably have never heard of, Woolworths. You heard of
no,
Woolworths?
How do you pronounce that?
Woolworths.
Woolworths?
Woolworths.
Almost sounds like werewolf.
Yeah. So it's Woolworths. It was the thing prior to Walmart.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. My dad actually got interviewed by Sam Walton, and he said, "You want to come work for me?" He said, "Why would I leave the best company in the world?" So anyway, he didn't. And but they had a habit of moving their managers every year. So every year. And poor mom had to pick up 3 kids and all this stuff and move somewhere new and make new friends and find a new dentist and a new person to cut your hair and another church to go to. And every year for 13 years.
Wow. That's a lot.
And then we landed in Waverly. So
Yeah. And how long have you been in Waverly?
off and on, gosh, very long time now. I lived there, went to college, got married, moved to Knoxville, and moved to Jupiter, Florida, then moved back to Lewisburg, then left Lewisburg, moved back to Waverly in 1998. So I've been there since 1998, solidly. And I don't know that I'm going anywhere else.
Okay, gotcha.
My clock's ticking.
Yeah.
I'm going to run out of time to move anymore.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think you've moved enough.
I'm good with that, yeah.
For a lifetime. After all that moving, why did Waverly become the place you kept coming back to?
Well, as I told you, I visited with a friend last night, also from Illinois, where you're from, and she and I were talking about Illinois and the cornfields.
Yeah.
So just flat land, cornfields, whatever. There was no water. When it rained, there was a ditch, you know, and you get water in the ditch. And somewhere in my soul, I wanted hills and trees and water. And so when I moved to Waverly in the 7th grade, I stepped outside my front door, and there were fields in front, woods behind, creek down the hill, and there were kids in the neighborhood that all came up to meet the new kids, which was very touching, I guess, because I had lived other places before, and there was this one little boy, and his mom said, "You got to go over there and meet them," you know, and he came over and said, "Well, my mom told me I had to come say hi." So, so anyway, thanks, kid.
How welcoming, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, kid.
My mom told you to have you come on the podcast.
Yeah.
So. Here you are.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, welcome.
Yeah. So anyway, Waverly, just from that moment when I stepped in my front yard, I thought, I am home.
Nice.
And so I lived there through, we're going to touch on disasters. Should I say that already?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I was there for their first big disaster.
Yeah.
And then, but it felt like home. And the people, it's a small town. Waverly's got about maybe stretching it 5,000 people.
Okay.
And that County, I found out today because I looked it up, is about 19,000 people, which shocked me because I didn't think we had that many.
Yeah.
So we're spread out a little bit.
Yeah, that's cool. Well,
but you can't go anywhere you don't see somebody you know.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about disasters a little bit.
Yes.
So for people who don't know, I mean, especially if a town of 5,000 people, what disasters have been happening in Waverly over the last years?
Well, we just, I don't think celebrate is not the right word. We just, honored the fact that 48 years ago last week, we had our first disaster, and it was a train derailment and explosion. And kind of the way you and I met was through Dr. Yasmin Ali, who wrote a book called Walk Through Fire about the train disaster. Her parents were doctors at the hospital that day. And so anyway, she wrote this excellent book about it, and I got to be friends with her. So anyway, what was the question?
Of just helping people know there's been so many disasters in that small town. And I want to get to the mindset of how you have been able to be resilient and what kind of mindset it takes to get through extreme stress in life. And how you've managed that, because you don't seem like it's defeated you. You seem very upbeat and bright and happy and content, and you're doing things for your community. And so you've, of course, been through extreme stress, especially living in that area. And I want to know how you dealt with that. If there's a framework that you use, or a mindset, or a certain mantra you repeat back to yourself, because everyone's going to go through extreme stress.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think that it's best to use stress and not let stress use you.
Right.
And so I want to know what your approach is to that.
Well, going back to the book, Yasmin has certain characters within the book, and I got to know those people. Some of them I already knew, and I didn't realize, our mayor was the first person in the first paragraph. He was a young policeman at the same time. So 21 train cars derailed, 2 of them held propane.
Oh, wow.
But this was 1978.
Yeah.
So the tanks were mislabeled. Nobody knew what was in them.
Oh, no.
They were in the wrong kind of tank. So there's 2 of them, that are off the thing. And then I made friends with some of the people, the survivors, throughout the book. And I feel like I'm messing all this up, but
it's okay. It may not be entirely accurate, but
I'm getting my facts straight. I'm just not saying them in the right direction.
Oh, that's okay.
But
even if you mess a fact up, it's that's it. I mean, what people doing a podcast or talking about things in any normal conversation, it's okay to be wrong about things.
Yes.
It's gonna happen. We can
the
go
world
back and
will not end.
Yes, we can go back and correct it. I don't let that risk of that happening prevent me from having a podcast, or shouldn't prevent us from having a conversation about it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, just from that book, I got to be friends with Yasmin, and then I got to be friends with the characters in the book, because I saw her at a book signing in Nashville. That was the first time she and I met in person. We had corresponded via email and that was the first time I met her. Cool. Of course, I knew her parents. I knew other people in the book. And then it was such a wonderful experience, that book signing. And then she had a book signing in Waverly, and I kind of helped with that.
Oh, cool.
And it was total chaos because half the town came out. I came to Nashville to see her book signing because I just feel like Waverly should support Waverly.
Yeah.
Especially about something that important in our history.
Yeah.
So I went to that. And then it was just chaotic. It was at the public library, and people got there hour early and lined up, and she signed books for 3 hours, and it was just...
Was it a train wreck?
No.
Sorry, I couldn't. Too soon? It's been 48 years, I think.
Okay. You can do that. So anyway, I just went to her after that.
Sorry.
This is a fun place.
No, every now and then I have a legit joke.
Yeah.
There's a lot of swings and misses, but
that's all right.
Take the wins when I get them.
So go for it. So anyway, I just went to her after that, and I said, could we do another event that's more organized, I guess, where, people could meet you, hear you speak, whatever. And she said, listen, I've been talking to all sorts of people. I don't want it to be about me. Let's do something good for the community through this.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And so what we did, we have a train disaster memorial museum in Waverly.
Gotcha.
And I'll send you pictures.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it was pale pink. It's a caboose, and it's in the location of where the explosion happened.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So anyway, it had faded over time. And then our second disaster hit somewhere in there, the flood of 2021.
Real quick, there was the train disaster. Were there casualties? I'm guessing.
Yes, 16 people died. The police chief died. The fire chief died. People from the railroad died. It was awful, awful. And some of the people that I became very good friends with were some of the worst burned people who survived. Oh, wow. And we just lost 2 of those in the last couple of weeks. Gotcha. Well, one man who's like the mainest character in there, he passed away back in the summer. And then one of our other survivors, who was so much fun and such a nut, but just he died a couple weeks ago unexpectedly.
Sorry
but
to hear that.
Just through getting to know the people in the book. Okay, I'm messing it up again. So I need to.
You're fine.
So we went back and had this fundraiser we wanted to raise money to have the caboose painted because Waverly had been flooded and the town had been torn up. So there's no way the city's got an extra $20,000 to paint a caboose. No way.
Not in the
not in
caboose
that
painting budget,
Yeah, there was not. And and our mayor, it's near and dear to his heart because he was there when it happened.
Right.
So as a matter of fact, he had just been called away, or the police chief sent him away to go do something else when it exploded and it killed the police chief.
Oh, wow.
And if he had not sent him away, then he would have died also.
Wow, that's crazy.
So, so anyway, we worked as a group. A friend of mine, one of her classmates in the class of 1978 was killed during the explosion. And so we organized this fundraiser to do it all together. But through reading the book, through meeting the people in the book, it was such a blessing because I saw these people that went through hell on earth. I mean, we're talking mushroom clouds. We're talking flames, knocked down buildings, cars exploded, things thrown into the air and landed and cut water lines. And, it was horrendous. Sorry.
Oh, that's right.
And so anyway, and one of the men, his name is Elton Toad Smith, and they called him Toad. So, and he was a police officer. But he was so badly burned in his hands, and the doctors told him, "You will never use your hands." Well, he ended up being a barber. He said, "I'll show you."
Yeah.
So, and he was the sweetest guy. Gosh, I loved him.
Yeah.
And so he just never let it get him down. And the man who just recently passed away, he had third-degree burns over like 70% of his body. There's hardly any skin on him that wasn't grafted.
Yeah.
And he survived that. He was in the burn unit for 5 months in Cincinnati. And then he went on to drive buses and to take people to different locations and stuff. Cool. But he never let it get him down. And so I got to hang out with those kind of people, which was just really cool to see something that awful. And it was beyond awful.
Yeah.
And they came out of it on the other side. Okay.
Yeah.
So
what was the difference in their mindset that you noticed that's different than normal people?
So I think they were determined to work with these things. Like Mr. Toad, he had to work his hands in order to make them work.
Yeah.
And Frank, bless his heart, that was burned so badly, Frank Craver, he went through hell to get doing what the doctors told him to do. They would, and there are interviews with him on the news recently So we can look those up or tag those in or something. But
Okay.
but anyway, he's remarkable. But just and I think also have a strong faith base.
Okay.
So is very important.
They're Christians?
Yes,
or?
Christians.
Okay.
Yes. And so anyway, Toad, he just when I read the book, I kept reading the book, and I would read things, and I would stop and think about it, and then I would underline them. And I think that's a God thing. That's a God thing. That's a God thing.
Like, what's an example?
Okay, so Toad, he was a police officer. It was a February day, and he had been sitting in his patrol car near the propane tank, and he got out of the got out of the car, and he had a heavy jacket, and he put that heavy jacket on, and he flipped up the collar, and that's when it blew. And he had his back to it, not his front to it, but his back to it.
Wow.
Having that jacket on that protected here, and so his hands were showing,
Right.
But that's that's just one of the things. And then his story is so cool, and this is another offshoot thing.
Yeah.
We actually interviewed on video Mr. Toad and Frank and just some of the survivors, because we would love to do a documentary about this for the 50th anniversary.
Oh, cool.
So they took time a couple years ago to tell us their story.
Yeah.
But Toad, he said the wall of flames was coming to him, and he said it was blue flame, and he said it was sizzling and crackling like, like he said, like a field on fire. And he said,
Like Pop Rocks?
Yeah,
What those are?
yeah. And so, yes, I do know what Pop Rocks are. And I'm old, so.
I'm getting there.
So
I know if you know what Pop Rocks are.
Yeah.
You're old.
I am. Yeah, sorry, people. So.
Spoiler alert.
So anyway, but Toad said, God told me to shut my eyes. Now, when you're running, you don't shut your eyes. You leave them open.
No, I mean, it wouldn't recommend it. Yeah.
Yeah. So he ran through this wall of blue flame.
Wow.
Shut his eyes, got to the other side. And this is another person that we interviewed, is a classmate of mine. And she had been working there, and she, in a lumber company that was, the back wall was to the train derailment. Oh. She'd gone into work, and she said, and God said, get up. Because she was at her desk, and so this is the back wall where the train is on the other side of it. And she said, God said, get up. And she said, and then he said it again. And I got up, and she walked into the next room, and that's when it blew.
Oh, wow.
So she was out front, all this going on, and saw Toad with his hands so badly burned. And their car was not destroyed, his was. And they were able to take him to the hospital. So he was one of the first people to get to the hospital.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But anyway, it's just crazy. Just things like that.
Yeah, it's wild. So Toad flipped his.
He kind of
his hood up.
Well, he didn't have a hood, but just a heavy, collar because it was cold.
Yeah.
So he just
police
flipped
jacket.
his collar up. So that protected the back of his neck. And
There's so many sayings you can compare it to, right? I mean, it might sound a little cheesy, and I am, I guess, but I mean, in that sense, it makes me think that God had his back. When he flipped that up, even though his hands burnt, and then also he ran through the fire as well, right?
Absolutely.
To where it's also true testament to like when you're going through hell, keep going,
keep going,
and he literally ran through fire.
He did.
I mean,
he did.
It's not more of a hell analogy,
right?
Than you can get, and also too, I've had times in my life. I'm sure anyone else too. If you speak to God and he's saying something to you, you should listen to it. Pay attention. Because I've had times where he said something to me and then I didn't listen, and I regretted it.
It doesn't go well.
And there's a moment now where he's telling me to do a certain thing, and I'm like, no problem.
You learn.
I will. Yeah, I will listen. I made my brain doesn't agree with it because our brain is meant to look for problems and keep us safe. But when it comes to relationships or your faith or other things in your life, it's a heart or a gut problem,
right?
And you should listen to that or listen to God. I think you should check in all the, consistently, then it can be kind of an anxiety thing. But if here and there you're checking in with them and it's consistent or profound, you just listen to that and say, all right.
God told me something the other day. This is off topic.
Yeah.
But no, you remember the ice storm
that
we had.
Okay. Yeah.
So I live out in the country and I have a creek down from my house. So I wanted to go to the creek really badly.
Yeah.
And so I stepped out the back door and it was slick because it had thawed and then refrozen. I thought, all right, I need a walking stick. So I turned around, went back in with the walking stick. And then I started down and I thought, nope, it's still slick. So I went back in and changed boots.
Okay.
Started again. And I thought, I could probably get to the creek, but I don't think I can get back up.
Okay.
And I said, God, I really want to go to the creek. And he said, don't be dumb. So, and very plainly said, don't be dumb. And so I said, okay. So I turned around and went back inside.
Well, go to the creek later. You know? I mean, it's listening to that, and it's funny too with the ice storm. It made me learn a lesson about how our fears can change our behaviors, and this relates to my dog. So
who's lovely. But
oh, thank you so much. Jose's amazing. It's my son.
Yeah, he's great.
He doesn't like slick floors because I'm sure at some point in time he slipped and he fell down. And so no matter what, even if the floor is like more rough, where you can keep, I know like, oh, he's going to be able to walk on this better. He still have trouble because his legs lock up, and that's when that fear is what is causing a lot of that. And true testament to that, I was letting him out of my truck when during the ice storm. I was like, I want to run to the gas station and get a energy drink, because that's just sometimes you just need a white monster,
Yes.
And so I just want to go to the gas station, and there was like 3 power lines down on the way there. I mean, it was awful.
God didn't tell you don't be dumb, did he?
No, I also didn't ask God that moment, but I don't think he would want me to be drinking energy drinks either. But anyway, I get back to the house and I go up to my door, and it's complete ice from my truck all the way up to my house door. And I let the dog out. I'm like, oh, let me guess. It's the most slick surface we ever have. And he's going to walk up it completely, perfectly fine. And he did.
Oh, well, showed you, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. True testament, though, that he wasn't thinking about the ice being slick, even though it was slick. And so without that fear, he's able to just go right across it. And so that times in life, it's like where our fear, our beliefs hold us back. Right. Even though the conditions are the same or even worse.
Yes.
It's what that meaning we give to it, our mindset towards it.
Yeah.
Besides the fire, so there's a flood? Because there's other disasters that happen in Waverly.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. What are some of the other disasters?
The explosion killed 16 people. On the morning of August 21st, 2021, it rained a lot. And it rained and it rained. So I live in Waverly, Tennessee, which is on the Tennessee River. A lot of things converge right there. So our county has a town called McEwen, which is the elevation's a little higher. Okay. And then Waverly, hello.
Yeah, sorry. If you touch the mic, it's not a big deal.
I'm going to whack your...
They calm down in a second.
Okay, calm down.
Yeah.
And so anyway, and then Waverly's a little lower, and then New Johnsonville is right on the river. Okay. So it rained and it rained and it rained. And I was supposed to do a 5K that morning. And I have done 5Ks in the rain or other halves in the rain, a full in the rain. Not fun. And I thought, I'll just donate. Yeah. So I didn't.
Smart.
Yeah.
That's how I like to participate in marathons.
I will give you some money.
Yeah. And I can, you've done marathons. I do want to talk about that more. I have my own certain perspective on it, but go ahead.
So anyway, it rained, and this was like 9 o'clock in the morning. I was supposed to be in town to do the 5K. And I thought, I'm just not going because this is not letting up. Yeah. And then all of a sudden on Facebook, everything went crazy. It's like there's a car washing down Main Street. There are cars in my yard. My house is floating away. There are houses floating away.
Well, I don't want that.
And it was, what had happened was we got 21 inches of rain, which is the most rain in the continental U.S. Not attached to a hurricane event ever. It's just something sat over our county and sat there. And so it rained in McEwen, and then it started washing down, and there was a railroad trestle. People had been logging and different things. So all this debris built up against the railroad trestle.
Okay.
Like a dam.
Gotcha.
Then it broke. And it destroyed my town. And a lot of people died. 20. In a matter of minutes. 15 minutes.
Yeah. Sorry.
All of a sudden, it's like a tsunami has come through this picturesque little Tennessee town.
Yeah.
Down Main Street. And other places, too. Not just Main Street.
Yeah.
And it wiped out so much stuff. And it was like, this is absolutely crazy what was going on Facebook. And my mother and my sister live on Main Street.
Okay.
And the thing, and people were saying, send boats. There's people on roofs. There's people trapped in attics. Send boats. And so luckily we are a rural county. People got boats.
Yeah.
So people know how to use them.
Yeah.
So many people came to the rescue that day.
Okay.
And then a helicopter pilot, somebody who wasn't in town but had family in town, started contacting a guy here in Nashville, you're Hendersonville, who had a helicopter. And she said, my family is on a roof in Waverly. Can you help? And in the midst of this storm, which was still going on, he flew down. And I don't know, he saved 15, 20 people maybe. But, and this is an off thing too, but one of the places where he picked up people was on an overhang on a business. And the business was ruined. The man who owned the business lived on Main Street. His house was ruined. His business was ruined. His son's house was ruined all right there. And it was hard on him. And to lose all this stuff. He'd worked his whole life to have these things, and then they're gone.
Right,
in 15 minutes. They're gone. And I asked him afterwards, he was just in despair, which is like most of us. And I said, Paul, did you build that porch? And he said, I did. I said, did you put that awning on that porch?
Yeah.
And he said, I did. I said, you built it at the exact right height to save people's lives, because those people were washing away.
Yeah.
And they were able to grab onto that roof and to climb up on it.
Wow.
And it had ripped one lady had ripped her clothes off. There's the power of the water.
Yeah.
Water is very strong.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I hope that made him feel better. But I said, God knew we were going to have a flood.
Yeah.
And the police chief who was, well, he wasn't the police chief, I'm sorry. Our mayor, who was a police officer when the explosion happened, throughout the book of Yasmin's, he said over and over, I don't know why I'm still here. And he's a friend of mine. And I went to him, and I got all the characters in the book to sign my book.
Oh, that's
so
cool. How amazing is that?
I know, it's a treasure.
Yeah.
So I went to him and spoke with him in his office. And I said, buddy, I know why you've said it over and over in the book. You don't know why you're still here. I said, but I'll tell you why you're here. God knew we were going to have a flood and we were going to need you, because he went through that experience of the train disaster and saw how things could be work for good.
Right. Yeah.
FEMA was formed.
Okay.
TEMA was formed.
Yeah.
Baptist response, Southern Baptist response teams were formed. None of that happened prior to the Waverly train explosion. None of those things existed.
I see.
So it changed a lot of rules and regulations. So good things did come of that. But anyway, I said, God knew we were going to have this flood and we needed you. And another thing about the flood, it happened on a Saturday. Our elementary school and junior high were destroyed. There would have been 1,000 children and the teachers in those two buildings that were destroyed. the teachers that were there were maybe 18 or 20 that had gone down there to just try to get stuff up just in case it flooded. They barely got out. Some of them had to get up on the roof. It was, the water's gurgling out of the walls. And there's no way they could have saved all of those children. And they would have died trying.
Yeah, for sure.
I know they would have.
Yeah.
Because I know these people.
Yeah.
And so anyway, if that had happened on any other day, it would have been so much worse.
Yeah.
And the flood, it was terrible.
Yeah, of course.
It was absolutely terrible.
Right, yeah.
But any other day, it would have been something we could not have survived. I don't think emotionally or physically either.
Yeah, it could always be worse.
Oh, definitely.
Right? Of course. Not that wasn't tragic. Obviously was,
Yeah.
Are there any more tragedies that have happened?
Well, yes. Sadly, there are.
But wait, there's more.
Yeah. Last, okay, I get to talk about my new festival in a minute.
Yes, of course. Whenever you want to talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
I want to hear. I want to hear about your mindset, how you gone through these disasters. But then it helps to talk about all the disasters first, and then know, okay,
yeah,
you are still in a great mental, emotional state,
right,
compared to just generally most people I've met, who look on from the outside, their life looks pretty good. They haven't been through many disasters, but they're very sad and depressed. And sometimes it's just us turning on ourselves or things we've gone through, but they haven't had the tools or the mindset to work through those things.
Well, I will say I became a Christian in the 3rd grade.
Okay.
So when I was in the 3rd grade, I became a Christian. And so I was, I was in church, involved with church, read the Bible, all this stuff. And so anyway, there's a verse in the Bible that says, I will never leave you or forsake you. And that's in there over and over. And because I'm a photographer at heart, so I would get out and go where other people weren't and to take pictures of the things that I saw, just to document it. I think, I always wanted to be like a photojournalist or something, for National Geographic or something.
Yeah.
And I had 3 kids in 3 years and then another one 9 years later. So there went that. I didn't do any of that stuff. But just when Waverly was destroyed, I would just drive to town and I would go to these different places and take pictures of the things. And I would find people to talk to that, had just been through stuff.
Yeah.
And there was one man, I think he was 89 maybe, and his trailer had gotten, it was filling up with water, and it was up to here.
Oh,
and he thought, I'm not getting out of this.
Yeah.
And he said, I had such a peace. And I thought, how are you not freaking out? But he said, I had such a peace. And over and over and over again, when I went around and I talked to people in the midst of this awfulness, they said, I had a peace.
Interesting.
And then I just go back to that. I will never leave you or forsake you.
Yeah.
And there's a lady that was a friend of mine who was worked at the bank that I go to, and she did lose her life in it. And I just take comfort in knowing she didn't die alone. She was not alone.
Yeah.
So anyway, just having that faith base is such a huge help.
Yeah.
So that's one thing, and then and you learn after you have several disasters, you learn that there is another side.
Yeah.
This is now.
Right.
This is not forever.
Right. Correct.
So that's one thing I've told my kids over and over. This thing that's going on now, this is not forever.
No.
This time next year, it's going to be a whole different ballgame.
Yep.
So don't give up or don't despair because you don't know what's on the other side of this.
It's true.
And I stood out there. My mother I mentioned she lived on Main Street. Directly across from my mom's house is the creek over there. Not my creek, a different creek.
Okay.
And my creek was pretty nice during the flood. But there's a house here and another house, it's Main Street, so there's houses
Okay. Yeah.
all the way down. So this house came off its foundation. This hit this house, knocked it off its foundation, hit this house, landed up against this other house. Right down to the creek, there were cars and lawnmowers and boats and debris like you would. It was like walking into a disaster movie set, except it was all real.
Yeah. Wow.
And I just stood in the middle of that and I said, God redeems. I don't know how, but I know he does. And so this will be our 5-year anniversary coming up in August. And the schools are finally being demolished. It's taken a long time to work through the government, all the stuff you got to go through with the government. Yeah. So anyway, they're just now taking down the schools. But because that happened, those schools had been there since the 40s.
Oh, wow.
So they were there for a long time.
Yeah.
They were no longer safe because of the flooding. We had a flood in 2010. You probably didn't live here then.
No.
Oh, it was bad. That's what I thought. Oh, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Well, that doesn't even touch what happened in 2021.
Really?
Yeah. So, anyway, because that was destroyed, the government's going to help, and our community is going to get brand new schools in a safe place for the children. So many houses were destroyed, knocked off their foundations, washed away. People came from all over this country and rebuilt homes for people.
Wow.
For free.
How crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
My sister, her house was probably the biggest mess on Main Street.
Okay.
Except for the ones that got totally washed away. And I did bring a photo of her, but
yeah, we'll put up photos of the disasters. I'm sure there's plenty
yes,
of.
I have lots. So, but anyway, people came and helped her rebuild her house for free because they were like $400,000 in the hole.
Wow.
After this, and insurance didn't pay a dime.
Shocker.
Yeah. Insurance paid for their cars. And that's what, if people had cars, insurance would pay for their cars. Everything else was like, sorry, you didn't have flood insurance. We weren't in a floodplain. So couldn't get flood insurance.
So caring.
Yeah. You couldn't get flood insurance because we weren't in a floodplain. So, and then everything flooded. It's just
can't buy flood insurance. Oh, we can't cover you because you didn't have flood insurance.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if you'd sprung a leak in your, washing machine, run over the floor, we can fix that. But
that's what happened. This is a really big,
so
really big washing machine.
Yeah. So anyway, nobody got insurance money. It didn't touch it, but people came from all over, everywhere, and helped.
Yeah.
And anyway, I'm seeing it all come back now. It's being redeemed.
Yeah.
And it's going to be better than it was. And it's going to be safer than it was. So there's all the good things that are coming out of that.
Yeah.
Horrible. And it's never going to bring back, the children that died.
No.
Or the parents who died. Or, one lady was going door to door warning people, and she died. And,
Well, I think you mentioned a good part about having that faith and being such a foundation, knowing things are going to be okay, even from a sense that Jesus was put here to help us conquer the fear of death. Because if you truly don't fear death, if we died during the podcast,
right? We got someplace better to go,
right?
Not that this isn't really nice and fun.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah,
I'm glad I made it.
Right, exactly. But having true peace and something happened, go in heaven.
Right.
Okay. Oh no.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard the story of the Chinese farmer before? Makes me think of Waverly.
Maybe.
Honestly, I haven't heard it for a while. So the story of the Chinese farmer is there is a Chinese farmer and he has a horse and it runs away, basically. And the whole town comes to him and says, "Oh, we're so sorry. Your horse ran away." Next day, the horse comes back and brings back 9 wild horses with it. And the whole town comes in. And well, the first time I left the part out. When this first happened, and the horse came back, the whole town was like, "Oh, we're so sorry that happened to you." He said, "Maybe." And then next day, all these horses come back with, and they say, "Oh, you're so lucky. You got all these brand new horses. You got 9 free horses."
Yeah.
He says, "Maybe." The next day, his child is playing on one of the horses, falls off the horse, breaks his arm. And then the town's like, "Oh, we're sorry that happened." He said, "Maybe." Well, then the next day, the Chinese military was going through the town, getting new recruits, and they came to their son. And then they had to pass on him because his arm was broken.
Yeah.
I said, "Wow, what great luck."
Right.
He said, "Maybe." The point of the story is, in the midst of bad things happening to our lives, all we're doing is being so focused on that one event.
Right.
When oftentimes we need to look back in the big perspective.
Yes.
It's not easy to do
Yes.
when you're in the midst of disaster,
Right.
and then can see maybe that was a good thing
Right.
over time.
Yes.
And which reminds me of that perspective you're
Yeah.
having. And of course, tragic to have people lose their lives and the town get destroyed.
Right.
There is some good things coming
Right.
from that.
There are. And that's, what I've said over and over and told my children. God sees what we don't see, and he knows what we don't know.
Yes.
So just trust him with
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So, he's got a plan. He'll get you through it. He's not going to leave you or forsake you. So just hang tight and see what happens.
Yeah, and ask for help.
So-
Or like take
Right.
the problems, like I was like, take like problems I have that are heavy or emotions, just like, here you go, God,
Right.
because he can handle them.
Yes.
And it's selfish of ourselves to hold on to those problems. We just give it to him.
Right.
And he
And
can
it's
take
self-destructive.
exactly.
too, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we isolate ourselves and just try and only do things, worry about ourselves, the more you focus on other people, and helping other people.
Absolutely.
That's how you help people, especially when it comes to like personal relationships. If like someone you're in a close personal relationship, you're a partner. If you're just only focused on yourself and your needs,
Right.
you're not in a relationship. You're in a relationship with yourself.
Right.
And so that's just the true definition, even of what a relationship is. It's a connection between two people.
Yes.
And if you're focusing on someone else, it's not that you shouldn't take care of your needs. Of course, you should. But if you're focusing on helping the other person, and they're doing that for you, then that turning towards helping other people,
Right.
will make you feel connected and whole and
Right.
loved.
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about making friends. Which,
Yes.
And that was one thing I was going to say is do something for somebody else, because then you'll have that connection and they become a friend.
Yeah.
So when you help, but just like I remember the day of the flood, somebody somehow, luckily our Walmart didn't flood. It ruined we have one grocery store, and it ruined that grocery store. And luckily they had the heart to build back,
Yeah.
because we need them.
Yeah, good.
But somebody managed to get to Walmart, get some water, and kids were carrying water in like backpacks or whatever, and going door to door, because this is August.
It's hot. Yeah.
It's very hot,
Yeah.
and now there's mud
Tennessee.
and debris and cars up in trees and everything, and so they're giving out waters to people, and these are children. And I thought, what are these kids going to become one day?
Yeah.
Because they've now had to live through COVID, which was awful, and then the flood. So Waverly kids got a double whammy with stuff. So it was COVID in 20, the flood in 21, and then they didn't have school anymore. So that it's been a big adjustment and a big thing. But
my guess is they're going to make whatever they want out of it. That's the thing. You can take extreme stress or an awful childhood, and you can use it to completely bury you, or you can use it to propel yourself forward and
Right.
fuel. And I hope they use it for the latter.
Yeah.
And so it just depends how people want to use it. It will completely, snuff out your fire, or it will be rocket fuel
Right.
for it. And so learning ways to turn that stress into rocket fuel, or I go through problems in life. I'm like, oh, I'm already pretty motivated so that I get something else that happens, like initial thought I even had, like when my dad died, was like, oh, once I get over this, like I will use this to propel myself forward.
Right. Yeah. I've got a friend who's last year was a horrible year for her, and she was diagnosed with breast cancer.
I'm sorry to hear that.
So she was a single mom, had adopted a little boy, had to have a double mastectomy, did the chemo, did the radiation. She can't afford to not be there for her son.
Okay.
So she did all the things to get rid of it. Lost all her hair. In the midst of all this, and this is horrible, she finds melanoma on her scalp. And if she had not lost all her hair, she wouldn't have found that.
She wouldn't have found that either. Yeah,
she wouldn't have found that. And I talked to her last week. Her hair's just beginning to grow out. She's beginning to be able to breathe a little bit. And she said, I want to help people. I want to help people who have been through cancer, you know, what to expect. And I think that's what with the flood, too, so many of us now know what to do for people in disaster situations. And I'm going to put a plug in for my favorite thing to give people now, because you get the list of disaster items. We need batteries, we need flashlights, we trash bags, all those things are super good. What I donate every time, and it's never on anybody's list, are those camp chairs.
Oh, just so you can sit down?
You would take, to a hockey game or something, a soccer game.
Or like a parade or something.
Yeah. Because when you're faced with all this mud and debris and nastiness, sometimes you just have to sit down. And you have to sit down to rest. You have to sit down to eat. And here I'll put a plug in for World Central Kitchen, and the Red Cross came through and donated in churches in Nashville. But people would come and bring food, and you just had to sit down and take a break and eat and drink. So those camp chairs, a lady came in our church. Our church was set up as kind of a station where you could come and get supplies. People were bringing everything there because we're up on a little bit of a hill. We're on Main Street, but up a little hill, so it didn't flood the church.
Okay.
So anyway, this older woman came in and she said, do you have any chairs? And I said, ma'am, I don't know. And I saw her later, and she said, I found one. And I thought somebody had just sent me $300 because people knew that I lived in Waverly, and they said, we don't know what to do. We want to give you this money.
Okay.
So I took that $300 and I went to Walmart and I bought all the camp chairs that I could, and I brought them down to be given away.
Nice.
And so people, they went out as fast as they came in.
Yeah.
And so anyway, now if I hear of a hurricane or a flooding situation or anything else, that's what I do is for $10, you can go to Walmart and buy those camp chairs. And they are really nice to have. And that's what I learned. One of the things I learned in the flood. So,
well, that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you got to even have a drink, with the drink holder. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, what's your personal mindset with those disasters? Is it the main thing, faith, that you say that's how you get through all those disasters and moving and?
Yeah, you just know there's you can get through the other side. So. Yeah, one morning I woke up and I was packing a bag and I was getting ready to go to Florida the very next day. And I looked in the mirror and I started eating and I thought, why is the cereal falling out of my mouth? And I had Bell's palsy, which was better than the stroke that I thought I was having.
Yeah.
So stuff comes at you sideways.
Yeah.
You don't expect it.
Yeah.
It's just like, bam, there it is.
Yeah.
But now I can help people because I've had the Bell's palsy. Multiple people have called me and said, what do I do? I just got hit with this.
Yeah.
And I'll say, well, do you have eye drops? Do you do, these different things? So but I just take it and think whatever I learn, I can use it to help somebody else.
Yeah.
So I had a house fire once. So tell you about house fires, had knee replacements, and talk to you about knees.
Yeah. What can you explain to people what Bell's palsy is? I mean, I had it too, actually. I can't remember if we said that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
So it's a nerve thing, and it will paralyze. There's a nerve that comes down into this bone behind your ear, and it controls your facial muscles, and it's on each side. And if there's swelling, and I think they think it's a virus. I'm not sure. They'll say, well, it's stress or different things, but it swells. It can't fit through that hole. Then it squeezes that nerves. And so it basically paralyzes this side of your face, which is why if I look weird, that's what's going on. So, because my face fell off.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I had a similar thing when I was like, first out of anesthesia school. I was working so much. I was working
we did talk about this.
I was working like 90 hours a week. And that's why now where I work less and people are like, oh, well, that's all you're working. It's like, I'm very aware of my health and my sleep and things. Because I'll work myself into the ground. And so I remember I was similar to something like, I wasn't eating cereal, but I had like mouthwash. I was rinsing my mouth and like it was falling out of my mouth. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? You know, I was so stressed that it will have one side of your face was paralyzed. So one side wouldn't work. And then I had no sensation in the other side of my face.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. And then I remember I was so mad because the following week I had paid for like a VIP to go meet Arnold Schwarzenegger. And
such bad timing.
Yeah, and my eye also was drooping. And so we could maybe find that. That'd be a fun photo to put up on the podcast. Because like I'd love to meet Arnold again someday. But when I took the photo with him, I had sunglasses on. So it covered up my eyes.
The droop.
But then when I'd smile, it looked like I was smirking. Even though I like to smirk sometimes,
right,
of course. I'm pretty sarcastic. But I wasn't smirking on purpose. It's because half my face was paralyzed. I couldn't smile,
Yeah, or swallow, or spit.
Right.
I never knew I wanted to spit.
Right.
Until I got Bell's palsy and I couldn't spit toothpaste anymore.
Yeah, the little things.
Yes, it is the little things.
So after that, I was like, you know what? It's just not. You can always work more. You know what helps more so in a day is not to work more, but just what you focus on. Do the most important things.
Right.
So like today, it's the podcast.
Yes.
Do you think if I had a guide or a journal that would help people focus on what's the most important thing to do for the day, you think that would be helpful?
I think so. Yeah. I mentally get up in the morning and think, okay, this is what the top of my list, but I'm bad about writing it down. So, but when I started kind of my fitness journey, I decided but I did write down things because when I was 48, I looked in the mirror and thought, not going to get it. I don't like the way I look. I don't like the way mostly it was cosmetic at the time. It was like, I don't like the way I look. I don't like in pictures. I don't like the way I look in clothes. My clothes don't fit good. So, and I'm looking at 50 now because I was 48.
Yeah.
And I'd had all these kids and concentrated on them and had not done anything for me. And I'm not a sports person. I've never played. I've water skied and played tennis and karate, individual things.
Cool.
Yeah. And don't let me kick your knee.
No,
So
you're all right. I did karate all through high school. So
okay.
that's
I love karate.
Oh, karate.
I like hitting.
Yeah.
So
Kicking's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
So not really. That sounded weird.
Nah, it's fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so anyway, I took karate so I could hit the bag or the other person.
Yeah,
not anyone at my home.
Yeah.
So
not anyone you're supposed to be.
No.
Self-defense.
Yes. So anyway, but I just when I started that kind of fitness journey, I would write things down, and that really helped.
Oh, nice.
So
amazing. Yeah. So if you're watching this, you want the sample of the journal, go to my Instagram, Jake Paul Turner, DM me the word journal and podcast, and I'll send it to you. One thing I like about the journal is, I'm a little biased, obviously, I created it, right? But after the one thing, which usually is pretty important, I will write, why is this important to me?
Oh,
and
that's a good point.
And there's a check box. At the end of the day, you review, did I do it, yes or no? And I look at the checkbox, I'm like, oh, I don't want to check no. you know, like I really don't want to check no. And so that's a big motivator for me. For anyone listening to this, how can they find you? We're going to talk about a festival coming out, how they come and support you and the philanthropy things you're doing.
Okay. So do you want me to break out the Posadillo right now?
Yeah. We could talk about it. So maybe let's talk where they can find the event, and then let's talk about the event.
October 3rd of this year in downtown Waverly, Tennessee. We're going to have our second annual Posadillo Festival. We had our inaugural Posadillo Festival last year. A Posadillo is the South's finest kept secret, found only in Humphreys County, Tennessee.
Okay.
It's Waverly's.
Yep. So
Nope.
what is a posadillo? Hold on one second.
Okay.
What is a posadillo?
A posadillo is a hybrid between an armadillo and a possum.
Okay.
So they are only found around the Tennessee River and Humphreys County, and we are very proud of our posadillo. And the word did not exist on the internet. And so now it's about to be trademarked for Waverly.
That's amazing.
And yes, it is. And our tourism department, Chamber of Commerce, economic development people have really taken that ball and run with it. And I don't know, whenever you want me to tell about the whole thing. But
We could talk about it. I know you have some stuff here.
I do have
we
stuff.
can show. Is there certain things you want to hold up to the camera we can talk about?
whatever you want to grab from that pile over there.
Yeah, this is a good. We could show people what the.
There's
show like
our
what-
posadillo.
Yeah, maybe show it to that camera there. Yeah,
Yeah.
what it looks like.
Yes.
So there's a 5K. I will not be doing that.
It's a run.
I'll come support it.
Run and ramble.
I
So
will
you,
donate. I'll ramble.
You can ramble.
I could
Yes.
podcast about it.
Oh yes, please do. That would be so amazing.
We could figure
So,
something. I mean, I am currently, but we'll.
Yeah.
However, I can help support. I will.
Okay.
We got some time until October.
Thank you. Yes, you do. And this is what I used to do in my fitness journey.
Mm-hmm.
I had never done anything. Like I hadn't even walked a mile.
Mm-hmm.
So when I turned 48, I decided I am going to walk a mile 5 times a week and try to and eat off a small plate and just do these things. And my daughter, my middle daughter Allie, I'll call her out here. She said, and I said, I want to lose 10 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter Allie kindly said, Mom, I think you'd look great if you lost 20 pounds. And so. And
Wow. Thanks, child.
And I said, okay. And I'd never ever lost 5 pounds or 2 pounds,
Yeah.
So anyway, this was going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
And she said, I tell you what, if you will lose 20 pounds, I'll give you a pair of designer jeans. And I thought, you are in college and have no money.
Okay.
So I don't know how that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But in my mind, I said, challenge accepted.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I started thinking, well, if Allie will give me something to lose 20 pounds, what will other people give me?
Yeah, okay.
So then I went around to other people and said, if I lose 20 pounds, what will you give me? And it wasn't so much about the thing as the accountability.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and of course, Waverly's a small town. And I would take my youngest daughter to school, drop her off in the parking lot, walk. Then I would just get out of the car and start walking down Main Street. And I was holding myself accountable on Facebook. And like every 5 miles that five pounds that I lost, I would treat myself to like go to a thrift store or something,
cool.
So something that didn't have calories.
Nice. Yeah.
And
Big ice cream.
yeah, so that's what I really wanted, a donut.
Yeah, right.
And so anyway, I would do that. And it got to where people were driving past me as I was walking and they knew I was doing this. And they were going, hey, what do you want me to give you? They rolled down their car windows.
That's
I
awesome.
said, want to go to the movies? Yeah, I'll go to the movies. So,
Such a small town thing.
so,
Wow.
So,
How cool is that?
yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
More things you got here? You gave me a shirt.
Yes. That's your very own shirt.
Yes.
So we had the 5K in order to raise money to have the festival. So
Get some
we
good
have
pictures of this.
festival
So
shirts.
sick. This is amazing.
So
Thank you so much.
it is. We've even got one of those in Scotland now.
Oh,
With
wow.
people are wearing them all over the world. This is the legend of the Posadillo.
What's this? This is the story?
That's the legend.
Okay.
Yes, of the Posadillo.
Long time ago in the 1980s, on a cool moonlit night in the woods around the town of Waverly, a kind and hospitable local possum befriended a wandering armadillo. How cool is that? Amazing. We could turn this into a reel, maybe. I don't know.
Yes.
How sweet.
So yeah.
Awesome.
But anyway, yeah, it took me a very long time to write that, by the way.
Did it?
So,
Okay. Oh,
yeah,
you wrote that?
I wrote that.
Yeah. How cool is that? Now, what made you start this event? Because you started this event.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Or it got
Yes.
kind of handed to you? Is that-
No, it was totally my idea, and now it has taken over my life. So it started.
It's got you on podcast.
Yes, it's got me on podcast. So if you want to grab that green shirt over there, if you don't mind.
This one?
Yes, thank you. So this was the original Posadillo design.
this over here.
I don't do. Am I supposed to show this to
Yeah,
something
sure,
or somebody?
that camera,
So
yeah.
okay, hello camera.
Yep.
So I went to a 5K on Main Street, and there were some young people from Cincinnati, Ohio, wearing a shirt very similar to this.
Oh.
And I saw the animal, and I thought, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
And then I saw it said Posadillo Festival, and
Yeah.
I thought, oh, that's really fun.
Yeah.
And then I saw it said Waverly, Tennessee. Well, then I was very confused because I knew a lot about what went on in Waverly,
Yeah.
and I'd never heard of this.
Yeah.
And it said the South's finest kept secret.
Huh.
And I thought, what is this? And these kids are from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah.
So anyway, I found out that their dad and I graduated high school together. The 5K I was doing was in honor of my friend's father who had passed away. He worked with the Lions Club, so he had orchestrated and put together a Lions Club 5K and like a 10K bike ride or something.
Okay.
So anyway, that was how Lions Club raised money, and I supported that every year.
Yeah.
So I saw this shirt, and Mark Hayes is the guy's name, and I said, Mark, I love this.
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah.
And he said, well, my daughter's a graphic designer. She came up with this design. It's something he had told his children about. And he told them, he said, well, I spotted this Posadillo down in the barn, And so anyway, he just spun these tales to his kids. His daughter designed the shirt, and they printed them up for Christmas for their family.
Oh.
And so I said, I love this. And this was like in May. And I said, could I work with you and get some T-shirts for my family for Christmas? So his shirts were designed in 2018. This was now 2019. So that year for Christmas, I handed children, grandchildren, everybody a Posadillo Festival shirt, and I said, this is the South's finest kept secret.
Yeah.
And you're in on the ground floor. And they were...
So it was kind of a joke to start initially.
And so it was, yes. And so anyway, they were so excited.
This right here.
And then my nephew, 5 years later, 2024, 2 years ago now, came home from Knoxville, where he's getting his doctorate in entomology.
Oh, cool.
Yay, Jackson.
Yeah, nice.
So anyway, he came home wearing his Posadillo Festival shirt. I thought, well, it's been 5 years. I really need to talk to Mark, see if I can get new shirts. So I reached out to the guy in Cincinnati. Mark and I talked, and I said, can we get new shirts? Somewhere in that conversation, it turned into, why don't we have a Posadillo Festival? And I apparently have nothing better to do. So,
well,
so I just
challenge
said,
accepted.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So I just said, why not? So then I start mulling around festivals and talking to people about festivals and what you have to do to have a festival. And I went to a girl that was just starting with the tourism department in Waverly and our Chamber of Nyoka Curtis, I'll throw out Nyoka. And then I spoke with Daryl Mosley, who is our Chamber of Commerce director. And I pitched this to them. I figured out you had to have two things. You had to have a cause and you had to have money.
Oh.
And I am involved with our local arts council, Humphreys County Arts Council. And I knew they wanted to buy a physical building.
Okay.
So I thought, well, once they buy a physical building to have gallery space and teach classes and do things for kids, all this, that they're going to have to pay insurance and different things.
Yeah.
So, just your monthly bills. And so I thought, well, if we did it for the Arts Council, we could donate the money to them. They could be our beneficiary.
Oh, okay, cool.
And then I thought, okay, so that's our cause.
Right.
Well, that was easy to come up with.
Yeah.
And then money. It's like, we don't have any money.
Right.
We got no money.
Right.
So since I had done so many half marathons and 5Ks over the past whatever years, I had figured out, I said, well, let's do a 5K fundraiser.
Yeah.
So easier said than done, I discovered.
I bet, yeah.
Because I thought, okay, what do? You fill out a form. Okay, I don't have a form.
Step one.
Where do I get a form?
Right,
so then I had to, find out so many things that I did not know anything about. I mean, I was starting below ground because first off, I'm talking about an animal that hardly anybody's ever heard of but
Right,
me.
right. Well, I didn't know anything about a posadillo. Do they play dead like a possum
Like
does?
the possum. So
Just
I've
with
mostly
armor?
just seen them run away. So,
Oh, okay. So no, they like.
so yeah, I haven't.
So maybe not. Maybe they feel more brave with the armor on. And they're
Yeah,
just like,
I guess. So
makes
yeah.
more sense.
So anyway,
Cool.
and I had to go to the police chief.
Oh, for
and
what?
Because I had to get a parade permission to do the 5K.
Okay.
So I had to go in to the police officer station, and old people will get that joke because that's from Arlo Guthrie.
Oh,
but
Okay. Yeah, I don't get it. But
so yeah, so I went in and he was a great guy who obviously does have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
And I said, Grant, we're going to have a 5K, and it's going to be the Posadillo Festival 5K, but we don't have a festival, so it's the pre-Posadillo Festival 5K. And then I started telling him about Posadillos, and I said, I've spent way too much time thinking about these animals and thinking, are they, mammals or are they marsupials? Because a possum's a marsupial and an armadillo's a mammal, and what are the babies called? And then, are they nocturnal? And he said, sure, they're nocturnal. And I went, yes, you're in. 5 minutes into this conversation, you're buying it. You're in. So,
oh my gosh.
So anyway, we had our first 5K and raised enough money to have the festival last year. Wow. And then 6 days after, we had our first 5K, which was a big success. I mean, and we're a small race, but I had people come from Knoxville to do it.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, just people come. And there's a very nice woman who does a Dixon Give and Gobble 5K, and she's Angela Moore. And so she's been super helpful to me. But I didn't know where to get medals or bibs or, all the race stuff. That was starting at scratch.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it was a success. And 6 days after our race, a munitions plant in our county exploded.
Oh, jeez.
And 16 people died.
Oh my gosh.
Another explosion killing 16 people.
So there's that. And then when was that?
That was our race last year was October 4th. So 6 days later, the 10th of October.
So train wreck, flood,
yeah,
ammunition building blows up.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all in Waverly, and 16 people died during that. And we're just such a small town that even if you don't know somebody that died, somebody that is their mother or their father or their aunt or so and our sheriff Chris Davis has been on the news a lot, dealing with these disasters, and bless his heart, all the police officers and emergency personnel, and they interviewed Chris Davis, and he said, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. And I thought, dear God, how bad was it?
Yeah.
Because Chris was there for the flood.
Yeah.
And he's a friend of mine, and so we've spoken privately about it and stuff, and just so much trauma.
Yeah.
And so
it's a lot. Sounds like a lot.
It's a lot. So now, but if it had happened, like the Saturday of the race or the Friday before the race, I would have canceled it. But I hope that this year's race, and I've talked to a few people, some people who have lost their family members. I said, can we have a stretch of placards or, yard signs that have your loved one's picture on it, and you stand with them just so we can show you support.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to try to work on that and see if we can do it.
Very
and then
cool.
also the race route is the flood zone, the flood disaster area. So you're running through places where there used to be houses and now there's not.
Okay.
So a lot of empty spots where the houses were, and then people.
Can be like a historic event. They can learn things as they do it too.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's cool. Like, what sense of appreciation.
Well, yeah. And just to honor the people and let the families know we are not forgetting you.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's important. What are the first steps to go from idea to real attendance when starting an event?
I browbeat so many people.
Now, what is browbeating to? If people know what that means.
Oh, okay. So browbeating, it's just like will y'all come? Will you help? We're doing this festival, and
Will you share the podcast?
will you share the podcast?
Bless you.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'll browbeat people.
Yeah,
So,
perfect.
again. But anyway, just you come up with the idea, you start the ball rolling, and then you build a team of helpers. And I've got some really great people that are helping me, and they're young people. And because I'm old, and they're going to, carry this forward one day,
True.
it's going to be theirs.
True.
So I'm just tickled to death to get some of these younger people in there. And one of the guys that's helping me last year, he was telling people about it. And he said, well, when you tell people about it, they go, oh, that's cool. Instead of, okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Throw the flyer in the trash,
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, but just every time I pull out some stickers or something, I went to a funeral meal the other day.
Oh, no. Did you pull out stickers during?
Yes, I did. So no, they had. I had talked to.
So sorry.
Yeah, so sorry. Here's
Come
a
to our
sticker. This will make you feel so much better.
Yeah.
So, but the people there had found out about it, or maybe I brought it up. Who knows? But they were all for it, and they said, that is amazing. I want to hear more about this. So I left. I was not invited to the meal, but they were friends of mine. So I left and went and got some T-shirts at the house and brought them back and gave them stickers. And one lady that was there, she works at Vanderbilt, and she said, the doctor that I work with is an infectious disease doctor, and a 16-year-old girl at one point had given CPR to an armatillo.
Oh, really?
And so this girl's
And we need her
mother
there
called
at the
the infectious disease doctor and said, does she need rabies shots or whatever? So I said, I need her testimonial. So I
Right.
will go anywhere.
That's awesome.
Anyway, I'm going to, the pest guy came out to spray my house. I said, have you had any problem with posadillos? And he
Yeah.
went, no.
Yeah.
I haven't.
That's awesome. Well, I think with learning anything new in life, especially starting in events like that, a lot of times being successful is just knowing what not to do.
Well, yeah.
And that can get you along the way. There's a framework. Have you ever heard of the loser's game framework?
I have not.
So basically, the framework is based off tennis, amateur
Okay.
tennis, to where basically 80% of the non-errored shots is what causes the points, not really great hits. And so in life, if you want to make progress in any area, business, investing, creating an
Right.
event, the one thing you should focus on is not making big mistakes. And then,
That's a good thing.
yes, and then worry about taking the great shots.
Right.
So, or even dating, it's like you go out, it's like, here's things not to do. Okay. Don't bring up your ex or,
Yeah.
be polite
Right. Yes.
to the waiter, and then, okay, there's nice things you can do after that. I want to talk to you about, you were a photographer.
Yes.
What's the difference between taking a picture and capturing a moment that has a soul?
I am big on light and lighting, for one thing. I was here on time. I was here early. You can vouch for that?
Yes.
So raise your hand and tell the camera people. So,
Yes. She was. I appreciate it's
Okay.
appreciated.
Yeah, I was early.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen very often. But I will
Okay.
I will be late to take a picture. I try not to be late anywhere, but if the light's hitting right, then I got to stop, because I know that that's so fleeting and it's only going to last so long. And the world so far has not stopped turning, and no one's died when I've taken a picture. So, and I do try to hurry and get it done quick, but
Right.
but anyway, just like with the flood, I was able to do things. I was walking on Main Street with a friend, and she picked a flag up out of the mud, and she held it up, and just the sadness on her face,
Yeah.
and that's one of my favorite, I guess. It just captured we are so sorry.
Yeah.
We're so sad. This makes us so sad.
Yeah.
But then, so stuff like that. And then one thing I did too, I went around in the neighborhoods because, like I said, I just wandered around and I took pictures of doors, people's front doors in their yards. And it's like, this is where people went in and out and they lived their lives and now it's all changed.
Yeah.
So,
What do you think is the most meaningful picture you've ever taken?
I've ever taken. I brought one with me. That was my sister. I went into her house and the walls were torn. The sheetrock was all torn off the walls. Her house was flooded from 28 inches down.
You want me to grab it real quick?
If you want to.
Where is it at?
It's over in that far chair. So, and it's got glass on it, so it might reflect or do something weird.
That way you can hold it up and explain it. There you are.
But anyway, I could pop the glass out.
Yeah.
But anyway, she had to have, I'm going to whack that every time.
Yeah.
So this is my younger sister, and she had to have floors replaced, walls replaced, repaint. This house is like a craftsman style house built in the 1800s.
Okay.
And they had beautiful antiques and beautiful furniture and artwork and so much stuff. And thankfully her daughter was home. And so they just grabbed artwork off the walls and started running it up stairs. But had to do so much repair work. But that to me, she is very resilient also. She's been on the news and the Weather Channel and different things talking about recovery from the flood and things. But it's just like, it's just not going to get her down. So
Yeah. That's cool.
yeah.
She seems very hopeful in that picture.
Yes, she was. This won me a prize, by the way.
Did it? Oh.
Yes, with the Tennessee Magazine.
Oh,
So,
cool. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Pass
'Cause-
that over here.
okay.
Thank you for bringing that.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really
one
cool.
of them. And then I'd go shoot pictures at my creek all the time. And
Yeah, so you like to... I guess I'll put it into question. Why do you take naps and explore creeks as often as you can?
because I don't.
I understand the naps. I understand the naps for sure.
Yeah, you just feel better.
Yeah.
Now, I've been a big napper for like my whole life. I know some people are not. I have it down to a fine art.
Okay.
And I will lay down and totally relax, sleep for 15 minutes, and wake up refreshed. I'm a
Nice.
much better person. I'm more focused. I can get more things done. I have a better attitude.
Okay.
All the things. So naps, I try to work them in. I had 3 children in less than 3 years. And if we didn't concentrate on getting a nap, it was not happy at my house. So the world's just a better place if I take a nap. I think if the whole world took a nap, we'd have world peace. But
And then why do you explore creeks?
the creeks, because I'm outside in the fresh air, in the sun, in the birds, where we're so blessed where we live. Like I was at the creek one day and I heard, I thought, and I ducked. It was a bald eagle flying
Oh.
over the top of me.
Oh, dang.
Then it was like, whoa. And it's just, where did that come from? And it was
Yeah.
so cool. So then I just kind of followed it down the creek. But also, I like to collect rocks and fossils.
Oh,
I have
cool.
so many. I should have brought you some.
Oh, that's all right.
Well, come to the Posadillo Festival.
it's in a little bit,
I'll
but,
give you a rock.
Yeah.
So,
Perfect.
but anyway, I just
This is going to be a good year.
yes, it is. So it's nature, outdoors, fresh air, peace, quiet, the ripples of the water. Just hearing that,
Sounds really
all,
nice.
it's very nice.
Yeah. Very nice.
Very nice.
We're doing pretty good on time. So I'm a life coach. you know.
Yes.
Is there anything you like coached about? I asked you about that earlier.
Oh, let's see. What can I be coached?
It could be on anything.
How to clean my dang house.
How do you clean your house? Okay, so this is an interesting example because you can be coached on anything. So
Okay.
as long as you're open, right?
Yeah.
So is it you want to? What is it specific? What's the specific goal you want
I
related
need to declutter
Okay.
like crazy.
So you actually need to get it done. You need to
Yeah.
you need to declutter it.
Yes.
Okay.
I have way too much stuff in
Okay.
my size house.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. And Why do you think you haven't done that yet?
Let's see, because yesterday I went to the Opry and I went to a baby shower, and today I came here. And before I came here, I went to church and then I drove. So I do other things, and I plan festivals, and I have children with grandchildren. And if they say, "Mom, we need you," then I go do that. So my priorities are not where they should be as far as getting everything decluttered, I don't think.
Okay.
So I'm pretty positive.
Okay.
Because I would rather be with people.
So you'd rather do something else. Sounds like it's not a priority for you. Why is it important to you to declutter your house?
Why is it important? Because it has gotten overwhelming.
Okay.
And it just needs to go away.
Okay.
And so I know what I should do, which is not do a lot of the things that I do. But, like I like to go work out in the morning. So I go work out, and then I run all my errands in town. And then by the time I get home, it's time for a nap. So, and then I do just regular house stuff. I keep my head above the water as far as, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, I'm not good at meals, sorry. But anyway, I'm just busy with regular life stuff, and I don't take the time to say, okay, I'm going to clean out this drawer and this drawer and this drawer. And then I can take, that stuff away, and then I can put away the things that are not in a drawer that need to go in a drawer. Okay.
So you're not setting aside the time to do this.
Right.
Or making it a priority. Those are two things I think like the first thing you said about you're not making a priority, but I'm just clarifying what you're saying. You're not taking the time aside to do this.
Yes.
Now, if we had to...
Because I'll go to the creek.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or take a nap. Both great things. If we had to look at two different ends of the spectrum as far as like how much time to spend decluttering your house, right? What would be the least amount of time, the minimum amount of time you'd want to spend, let's say in a week, decluttering your house? The smallest.
Yes. I think if I could do, say, I'm going to devote an hour to this room or this thing here each, 5 days a week.
Let's do the smallest though.
Okay. The smallest,
let's go
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do so 30 minutes is the smallest.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what would be the maximum amount of time you'd spend decluttering in a week?
Oh, I could do it for 8, 10, 12 hours.
Okay. So you can pick any of those.
Yes.
Which one of those?
Okay. We'll say 8 hours.
8 hours. Okay. Now, where's the medium in between there? So between 30 minutes and...
I'm an art major. You're asking me to do math.
Let's find something. What's a reasonable goal between those?
Okay. So 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. In a week.
Yes.
Okay. Does that feel like achievable?
It should be achievable.
Well, I'm just asking, does it feel?
Yeah, no, it feels...
Does it seem reasonable?
Right. I mean, I try to work out or go for walks. So those take an hour at a whack, or more.
Yeah, does it seem reasonable?
It does seem reasonable.
And then what do you think you need to address in order to achieve that goal?
Staying put in one place and doing it. So instead of getting over here with these other things, just say, okay, I'm going to put this phone in another room. I'm going to play some music. I'm going to concentrate on these things.
Gotcha. So set up an environment for it. So, and how does that feel?
How does that feel? That feels achievable.
And what about, would you need some accountability?
Oh.
Would that help?
Well, it did when I was losing weight, so I guess it would.
It could?
Yeah.
Is there what type of accountability do you think would be helpful?
Well, my son's coming home.
Okay.
From Colorado.
Okay. And
I would like it to be cleaner a lot before he gets there.
When's that?
I don't know because I can't pin the guy down. Grant, when are you coming home? So, but we'll just say April. We'll say April.
So sometime in April?
So
let's say April 1st.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I got a month.
That's not a joke. It's
yeah.
April 2nd, to be clear, right? So, okay. Well, how's that feel?
It feels like I got to go. What time is it? I gotta go.
Okay. So it's got like SMART goals. So you can do specific, measurable goals,
Right,
accountability, something reasonable.
Right.
Another simple tool you can use. It doesn't have to be, sometimes I coach on here, it's this very in deep depth emotional
Right.
things. Doesn't have to be that all the time.
Right.
It can be something very practical, simple. Hey, boom. And how long did that take? 5 minutes?
Right. Well, I'll force myself to do things sometimes and think, really, how long is this going to take you?
Yeah.
You know, I don't feel like washing those dishes or loading the dishwasher or unloading. Really, how long is it going to take? 15 minutes. Just do it.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. Or even 5 minutes. You
Right.
like, I'm going to only wash dishes for 5 minutes. You do 5 minutes and you're like might only taking 5 minutes. But, does 10, you're like, I'm already doing it.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Sometimes I get up in the morning and think, I'm going to do 3 things that will last, which is hang a picture on the wall or something like that, clean out that drawer. I think I'm going to do 3 things. And then if I get to the end of the day and have done 2 things, I feel pretty good about it.
yeah.
So-
Even I challenge you to just do one thing.
Okay.
It usually builds
Challenge accepted.
builds that momentum.
Yes.
Yes. And it really helps you focus on. That's why I created the journal. Like what's important in life. Like, do I need to call my mom? How accomplished is that day if I didn't do those things?
Right.
We're getting closer to the podcast. A couple more questions for you. Oh, real quick, by the way. Are people calling you Patti Posadillo Damesworth?
Oh gosh, yes. The Posadillo Queen, Posadillo Patti, all this.
Because I think I said that mid our last conversation on the phone when we first talking to each other. I'm like, should I have said that? But I mean,
no, that's I get that a lot. It's just so handy that we start with the same letter.
Yeah.
So
That's
I went to a baby shower yesterday for a couple that are helping me with it, and they had like coloring sheets for an alphabet book for the baby.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I chose P, which had penguin. But I colored it pink and wrote in Posadillo in purple.
Put some stickers in there.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome. If you had a chance to go back, talk to your 9-year-old self, what would you say to her?
Trying to think of where I lived then. I would say you're a little quirky and you're different, but that's okay. So
Nice. It's beautiful.
because when you're a kid, you're trying to fit in.
Yeah.
And I moved so much. I was always the new kid. And you don't want to stand out as the new kid. You're just trying to get through it, And so I was pretty quiet and pretty reserved. And, I was, this doesn't sound like I was smart. I was smart. So anyway, I read a lot. I would take a book and go get literally inside of shrubbery to read because my mother told me to go out and play and I really wanted to read a book. So I just took a book to the shrub.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, I just moved so much. I didn't want to stand out.
Yeah.
And then I grew this hair and it's like,
all history from there. You've moved so much. Something
Yes.
that we haven't touched on yet I want to talk about quickly is you're really good at making friends. How can people make friends as an adult?
well, I think don't be afraid of the new kid for one thing. I kind of gravitate because I was the new kid, so I understand how that feels to not know people, to not know things. Just like my sister would get exchange students from different countries, and I told them, and I've told other people, I said, the first day, you don't know anybody or anything.
Yeah.
The second day, you know somebody and something. And by the end of the week, you know multiple people and multiple things. Like, you know where the lunchroom is, you know where your locker is, you know your combination, just different things like that. So when I'm in a group of people and there's people that I don't know or I know have moved from somewhere else, I'm not afraid to go talk to them because I understand how they're feeling because of that. So don't be afraid of the new kid is one thing I would say. And don't limit yourself to people of your own age.
Okay.
And not in any kind of weird way, but just like, of course, I'm in a church family. I guess our church is exploding. And I'm so excited about that.
Oh, that's great.
It is. It's wonderful.
It's good news.
So now there's like this whole, from infants to 90-year-olds in my church.
Mm-hmm.
And so I meet the new mamas and the babies and the little kids and the grandmas, and and I see them, and I sing in the choir, so I'm looking out over the congregation, and it just blesses me so much because I'll see moms and dads with these little babies, and we're singing, and these old hymns are washing over these babies, and they're going to grow up in all this. And then, the kids are running wild and all this stuff. But so just don't limit yourself to think, well, I can only be friends with people my age.
Yeah.
So, because when I had 2 batches of kids. So I had one in my 20s and early 30. No, I had all them by the time I was 30. And then when I was 38, I had my last daughter. Mm. So I have all these friends who I'm still friends with, even though I've moved away, and we remain close, and I will deliberately, intentionally go see them, plan things with them. Their goods involve me too. And then I got this other group of friends that are younger, like 10 to 14 or 15 years younger, because they were the parents of my younger daughter's friends.
Yep.
So I go do things with them, and it's just, I don't go, well, you're too young for me, or you're too old for me, or whatever, I'm just lucky to have all these people.
Yeah, that's good. Sounds like you're blessed. All right. As we're getting closer, I have some random questions for you.
Oh dear. I'm pretty random. So this should
go.
go.
I'm really excited to ask you these, actually. Would you rather spill coffee on your shirt every morning or get toothpaste on your shirt every night?
Oh, the toothpaste at night.
Toothpaste at night.
Yeah, for one thing, I don't drink coffee.
Oh, okay. That makes it easy. Yeah. Would you rather always get stuck behind the slowest walker or always get stuck behind the slowest driver?
Oh, walker. I can handle a walker. The drivers. The Facebook post that I made on the way here, there's a stoplight, and I hate this thing. And,
just let it out, Patti.
Yeah. And I took a picture of this long line. It's the dumbest light in maybe the world. And I said, if I ever lose my mind, it's going to be right here at this light. So anyway, yeah, that drives me crazy, the slower drivers. And a long time ago, I realized this is not nice. It's profiling, because if they have ears that stick out, they're old.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what that is. But,
so it's like, oh, they got ears, big ears, so that means they're slow. And then if they're wearing a cap too, that's twice as slow.
You imagine their speed by ears and hats. I'm learning a lot today.
Yeah.
Would you rather have to do finger guns after every sentence or bow like you're on stage after every sentence?
Oh, I think I'd bow.
Yeah.
So I don't know. You noticed I talk with my hands a lot, so I'm trying to keep them still.
Finger guy.
Oh, you're a finger. See, I've never once in my life thought about doing that.
I could do like pew pew, like little noises with it.
Well, I've got grandkids that will do that.
What is a moment you're proud of that nobody knows about?
Oh. I don't know. I don't think of deeply about.
Or just a moment you're proud of.
A moment I'm proud of. So this goes back to my church family. Mm-hmm. My mind is so random, in case you have not
perfect time of the podcast for
picked up on that yet. Yeah. I sing in the choir, and I come around, and I come back in the back door. Mm-hmm. We have a prayer, and then I come around and I sit down. Mm-hmm. So I saw some Bibles in the pew, somebody that had these Bibles. I thought, well, those are different. That's interesting. And I start looking at people's Bibles and thinking about how different the Bibles are, yet they're the same. Yeah. But they're all different and kind of personal to each individual. Mm-hmm. And so then I started just stopping people. They would be standing there talking, and I'd say, stop. And I'd pull out my camera, and I would take a picture of just their hands holding their Bible. And so, anyway, that to me, I took a picture of this young girl, a teenager. She's in high school. And I took a picture of her with her Bible the other day, and I put it in a frame, and I gave it to her, just wrapped it up, just as a little thank you for letting me interrupt her day.
Yeah.
And she wrote me the sweetest note.
Oh, cool.
And mailed it to me. And so just, I don't know that that's something that nobody knows about, but it's just, I do stuff on impulse sometimes that I think works out.
Nice.
I think God puts this little something up here, and I'm going to run with that.
Well,
so
how cool is that? That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, and if you look on my Instagram, I've got some of the Bible pictures on there.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. What is one small town tradition you think the world needs more of?
Oh, we love our parades.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
That's true.
Yeah, we had our first 4th of July parade last year. It was a motorless parade.
Okay.
And so that was a lot of fun. And it's just barely getting started.
Okay, cool.
So we'll have another bigger one this year. So, but small town, you said tradition, right? So, yeah, we have, our homecoming parades and our Christmas parades and Veterans Day parade. So I'm big on the parades.
Yeah, Posadillo parade?
Posadillo, not so far, but the Posadillo's going to have to join in.
Yeah, I
with some of them. I think she probably will for the 4th of July.
Nice. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Last question. What is the one thing you've done that's made the biggest difference in your life?
Accepted Jesus.
Accepted Jesus?
Yep.
Amazing. Awesome.
I always say if you love Jesus and love to read, that'll change your life. So
awesome. Well, Patti, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for asking me. I still can't get over that. So.
No, you're great. Thank you for being here. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see you next time.